this is Marie Blue Angel, and today I will be playing the demo of The Day It Rained Roses. This is a visual novel entry for the Once Upon a Time Visual Novel Jam. I'm very excited to check this out because it looks very lovely. This title page is so gorgeous, by the way. I love all the colors and like the animations of these like sparkles, stars. The movement is really nice. And I really like this on the right here of the title. This what do you call this? A teardrop for the rain and a raindrop, that's what you call them, and the rose in there. So it's very pretty, and I'm really excited to see what the demo is going to show. I read the synopsis, and all I know is there's something about a vampire, and there's something about a fangirl, and lots of fun imagery. So yeah, let's just get into it so we can see what exactly is going to happen. I love it. We have to have our trigger warnings. This page is also pretty. What is this? The game has instances of bright flashing lights, fast moving images, and glitchy effects. Player discretion is advised. Good to know. That was so pretty, by the way. Oh my gosh, I'm like so entranced right now. Alright. Once upon a time, there lived a prince that was as radiant as the stars. His skin was like the palest porcelain. His hair was as red as the most beautiful roses in tender bloom, his cheeks matching their more muted blush. His eyes were like twin amethysts, sparkling in iridescent brilliance. His face and figure were as delicate and divine as the symmetry and patterns scattered in nature. The earth celebrated his ethereal existence, and the heavens basked in his cosmic wonder. He was altogether beautiful. Okay, so this is the prince, very gorgeous, very beautiful description of such a beautiful person. The kingdom and its citizens loved him, and many nations proposed alliances all to get him to marry into their kingdom. Once, his beauty even prevented a war, for just as the enemy nation was about to attack, their princess fell in love with him at first sight. Instead of a blade, she offered him a marriage proposal, and she promised to never harm his country ever again. But despite the shower of love and proposals from near and far, the prince never did find someone to give his heart to and marry. Did they go to war then? This right here, where I guess they went to war. Which is fine. Totally don't have to just, accept any marriage proposal. I'm just curious. Okay, interesting. And so the nation continued to wait in anticipation to see who the young prince would choose as his future consort, with intensity and curiosity on who the lucky maiden would be that would win his heart. But tragedy struck one day when he met a mysterious enchantress. Ooh, okay, mysterious enchantress. Hold on, I'm trying to sip on water. Enthralled by her allure and the roses she carried, he gravitated towards her. But looks can be deceiving, and sometimes they hold great dangers. With her pale hand she pierced his heart, and the rouge on his cheeks fled, and his life was drained from him. In the end, he was turned into a frightening creature of the night, doomed to dwell on this earth for his lifeless eternity. Ooh, okay. But I'm curious, what was the motivation of the mysterious enchantress? Just to cause a little drama? I don't know. Gonna have to keep my eye out for that plot point, but I'm very interested. But yeah, so our prince is now turned into a creature of the night, who's quite frightening now, so. In fear that they would have a vampire for a king in the future. Oh, a vampire, I see. Which I already knew. Okay. The warm feelings the citizens had for their crown prince froze overnight. He was still beautiful, but the praises showered upon him were laced with fear, and the division among the people had caused rifts in the nation, worrying even the top supporters of the monarchy. But then, tragedy further sunk its teeth into the head of the royal family. Ooh, what happened? The prince did something that no one would have ever guessed. In a bloody fit of rage, he murdered one of the country's most influential and beloved officials, one of the heroes of the Great War and a family friend to the royal family itself. In just one night, he had sullied his hands with innocent blood. That crime lit up the fires of hell against him in the hearts of the people whose hearts had previously burned for him. But why? Why did he kill this person? Why did he kill this official? And so, for his heinous crime, the prince's younger twin brother took it upon himself to slay him. Oh my gosh. Makes sense though. In fear that the creature that took his heart out had also taken his humanity. In fear that the creature that took his heart out had also taken his humanity with her. And with that, the whole country was united under his rule, and the once famed prince disappeared. Okay, so the twin brother took over the country, which, whatever, I guess, like, I can see the reasoning for it. You know, if you do kill a random official, like a top official very randomly, seemingly so, at least, I guess people feel like they have to do something. Okay, so Bane Prince is no more, or at least has disappeared. Some think that he has forever disappeared from the world. Others hypothesize that he still lives on. But whatever the case, the people unanimously agreed on one thing. Their shining star had fallen, and the world had become a bit darker for the tragedy that occurred. Okay. Interesting. But here's a secret, dear reader. Ooh, moved my mic on accident. He still lives. Here he lies in the very heart of this forgotten forest, in this castle full of roses. He has all the riches he can have, all the time in the world that he can spend. But oh, how he is ever alone. For who could ever learn to love a beast? Ooh, interesting. Ooh, I like this. I like that ending of the narration here. That was good. Ooh, pretty. It's raining. Is it still raining outside? I'm looking at my. Yep, it's still raining outside. What a fitting time to play the game. I love it. This is so pretty. This background. My gosh, this interface is. That's so pretty. Okay. Okay. Who's Julian? Julian. It is raining again. Usually I would have not minded so. It was always raining in this country. Festival days, mundane days. The rain played no favorites when it chose to make its presence known. Very true. And yet it seemed that even the sky had taken a liking to crying these days, with its thunderous tantrums and all that. What was it? A spoiled child? Beyond my glass windows, the vicinity of my castle had been engulfed by the rain. From the stone parapets of the castle to the rose gardens surrounding it, everything was drenched in the unrelenting rain. Verdangit. What does that mean? A name or an outburst? What do you call that? An exclamation. My gardens were flooded again. It will be a pain to maintain it with magic if it keeps getting flooded like this. I'll need to set up a sustainable drainage system for them with my Batsies. Batsies? I want to see the Batsies. And And with that thought, I made my way to the hall of my castle. The click-clack of my shoes echoed through the hall, mixing with the pitter-patter of the torrential rain outside. Oh my gosh! It's you! It's us! It's him! Once I arrived, my ever-punctual audience of bats had already gathered, waiting for me to tackle any pressing matters in the eternal affairs of my castle, or the forest within its vicinity. You have such gorgeous, hair, and I love your outfit. You're just, you're sparkling everywhere. I love it. I promptly sat on my throne, and the 7 Batsies I have assigned came forward. Good evening, my darlings. Let us start our session now, shall we? Cute little fangs. Batsy A! Clicks in enumerating the changes that have happened in the past month. So cute. And then this Batsy's wearing a cute little, it's not like an apron, but it looks like an apron to me with a little bow on it. This Batsy's so cute. Oh my gosh. Hello, Batsy. Oh, that is worth celebrating for, indeed. That means our barriers are working. We have to make sure that no animal gets trapped ever again, though. That is good news, Batsy A. And you, Batsy B, how is the procurement of the oak tree saplings coming along? Another Batsy! With the cute little bow on their head. Clicks in delighted recounting of news. Oh, splendid. We may be able to plant it in time for Adair's birthday after all. Thank you so much. I just love that Julian's just been he's just talking to the Batsies. I love that. I'm excited to see this one grow tall within the next several years. Now, what name would be fitting for this future tree? Treaty? Treaty. Leafy. One by one, the Batsies all chimed in turn, giving their suggestions and ranking each name based on how delicious it sounded. But after a few minutes, they entered into a stalemate, unsatisfied with the candidates. Ultramate, Etrinity, Petrie, Woody, September, Kitri, and Katerine are all good names, my dear Batsies. You sure you really can't decide between these? The Batsies all spun in unison, confirming their indecision. Then what about Okie A? Since we are going to plant this tree for Adar. Now, what do you Batsies think? The Batsies looked at each other in contemplation before enthusiastically flapping their wings in unison. They loved the name. Oh, they're so cute, the Batsies. Marvelous. I'm glad you approve. Let's keep the name Okie A then. I'm excited to see what next year's oak tree's name will be. Me too. You have so many possibilities. Now for next agenda. What are the other bat armies, Batsy C? Do they need a helping hand with the lookout around the forest? There's a lot of stuff to cover. I love it. Batsy C has a little crown on their head. I love it. Clicks in, no need. Ah, alright then. Carry on as usual. Wink wink. But since I am a generous employer and we have had an abundance of food from last month's harvest, tell the other Batsies to help themselves to more of the treats later on. I'm sure they would be delighted to have more treats while surveying the forest. Woo, woo, we're excited. With my words, the Batsies twirled in circles, their happiness apparent in the excited fluttering of their wings. I love that they moved a little bit. How cute. All Batsies. Clicks and celebrating. I don't know what bats sound like, to be honest. But I'd love to see that. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I also like this room, this background. It's so pretty. Like, is it a ballroom? It looks like a fancy ballroom or dining. More like a ballroom, maybe. Because of the chandelier. I knew you'd celebrate like this. Oh, how I do wish I could develop a more sustainable system to maximize the harvest, but I don't really have the same capabilities as my brother. If he was here, he would have found a much better system in no time. So, this will have to do for now. After the Batsies had their fun, we continued on with the deliberation for their reports, as I assigned them new tasks to do and gave guidance on ongoing tasks. And with that, my session with them came to a close. Bye, Batsies! Some of them promptly left to do their assigned tasks. Some of them promptly left, but not before giving me little bat hugs, of course. Oh my gosh, bat hugs! That is so cute. Bye, guys. Ah, one more thing, Batsier. About the old man. Have there been no letters as of late? Any at all for the past month? Batsier clicks and shaking head, sad face. Truly no word then. Well. That's utterly disappointing. But thank you as always, Batsier. I shall see you soon, okay? Hug, hug. Thank you. Au revoir, darling. Julian's sad. I don't know why. Who's this old man? Like, your father? Or someone else that you know that helps you usually? Yeah. I don't know who it would be. Okay, okay, so, just to recap what I'm understanding now. Julian, obviously, is the vampire. The prince who, you know, disappeared into the forest and obviously still lives even though people think he doesn't, is a vampire, lives in this castle, or at least this manor, and has Batsy friends, which is great. I wonder how long it's been, of being secluded in this way. I'm curious about that. And he has news of, like, you know, what his brother's doing and maybe parts of the outside world, but not that much, and is more concerned about the forests that he dwells in, which is interesting, which is good to keep busy, but also I think that's interesting as, like, again, I wonder how long it's been since the narration point. But anyways, let's just continue. And what of you, Mirror? Any news of old men dying in the village? Ooh. This reminds me of, well, one, like, what do you call that? That's Snow White, when, like, the stepmother looks into the mirror, but this is reminding me of Shrek. With the mirror person. I love it. If it is to be of great comfort, there has not been any news of the sort. Of the death of any elderly, especially the one you hold dearly. Then who could that be? But do remember that in the pages of history, it is the talented, the exceptional, it is the powerful, the influential, it is the royalty, the wealthy, whose lives are deemed worthy to be preserved and written. The common folk, the poor, they are usually forgotten. I can never get used to you speaking like that, Mirror, and you need not remind me of life's cruel rule. I, of all people, should know of it. I lived and died by it. No need to tell a fish it can't fly to the skies. Julian looks so sad. 20 years, Mirror. 20 years. 20?! My god, it's been 20 years. That's a long time. So who's this old man? Like a friend of yours that you knew when you were still the prince? Like, I mean, you still technically are a prince, but, you know, like, living, I guess. Someone else? A friend? Love interest? Who are we talking about? I don't know. He had been consistently writing to me at least every 2 weeks until a year and a half ago. Okay, so someone you know? I would be worried too. Another sigh escaped my lips as I ran my hand through my hair. Should I just accept it? That he may truly be. My lips couldn't dare utter the words. I knew he was old and frail. He often complained of his failing health, but I never imagined that his letters would cease to come so soon. He should be turning 87 in a few months' time, and yet he never seemed so old to me. Old and frail he might have been, like a plant slowly wilting, but his inner fire cannot be extinguished, so his soul is thriving. I could only let out a small chuckle at the mayor's words. Yes, Adar had always been so cheeky and full of life and wit in his letters that my mind could never associate him with his grim condition. Okay, so this is Adar. Again, I don't know who Dar is though, so we're gonna learn. I've always thought that his name fitted him. He was as strong as an oak. He was never one to bend to any of life's storms. The odds are stacked against him, Mirror, but my heart refuses to lose hope. I still have hope that he's out there somehow. I hope so. I guess we'll see. Well then, Mirror, as usual, if a letter were to come, or if you were to detect an intruder in the vicinity of the castle, then wake me up immediately. Otherwise, I shall see you next month. Gute Nacht, old friend. I'm so sorry, I don't know. German? No. It sounds German. It sounds... Anyways, I'm not gonna... I know it says goodnight, so that's great. We love that. That's all that matters. Woo, okay. Moving on. Okay, we're in a corridor. Ooh, this is also such a pretty corridor. I like the lighting. With that, I made my way back to my room. My monthly duties were over. It would be another month again until I see my dear Batsies for the purpose of maintaining the castle. Okay, so it is a castle. But for now, I slumber. For now, I shall return to my silken sheets and downy pillows, to the warm softness that is always willing to embrace me. The weather itself calls me to sleep, with the pitter-patter of the rain, and the low rumbling of thunder willing to lull me with their melancholic lullaby. I don't think it's raining anymore. I keep looking out my window to see if it's raining still. I think it's lightened up, so that's nice also. Maybe in my dreams. I do love the sound of rain when, like, it's time to sleep. It's so nice. I love it. This rain would finally cease. And so, as I made my way back to my room, the click-clack of my shoes once again echoed through the vastness of my halls. But just as I was about to reach the handle of the door, ... Red. But my castle was bathed in the pulsating red light. I'm shocked. In the distance I could hear the mirror, belting an operatic alarm. It could only mean one thing. One of my worst fears may have possibly just come true. Einderling. Intruder. That makes more sense. Okay, I love it. While pulsating colors darkened to a deeper shade of red, the mirror's cry ascended to a screech. The snake had slithered their way through my defenses, and they were dangerously close. Within a few more seconds, yellow lights blared, confirming that even the barriers protecting the forest had been absolutely wrecked. This person, whoever they are, was someone truly never to be trifled with. For the first time in all my 20 years of being confined in this castle, someone had managed to get through the forest's magic barrier. Someone had managed to escape being detected by my army of Batsies. And that someone was on their way to my castle gates. Okay, interesting. I have a question. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud, obviously. But, was the magic barrier of the forest only put in place, like, when Julian started living in the castle and in the forest? Or was that, like, always there? I think that would be interesting. Like, maybe someone else was, like, taking care of... Oh, sorry, that's my straw. Of, like, the castle and the forest before. I don't know. I'm curious about that. With each passing second, I could feel my accelerating heartbeat louder and louder, as if more drums were surrounding me from every side. Who would dare come closer to the domain of the Prince of the Night? He who had once struck fear into the hearts of his citizens. He who people should have long thought dead. I could count the number of people who know of my continued existence with only one hand. Could the royal family have brought an assassin to finish me off? But why? Why now? I think that's interesting, though. That's a possibility. Could any of the officials have discovered my existence? Could it have been that wretched witch instead, with her magic blasting my barriers? Or could it be? I stifle the growing flames of hope in my chest, afraid that they'll burn me once again. A flash of black lifted me from my thoughts, and a knock from the door confirmed what it meant. They were here. I love the knock on the door because it's go through the magic barriers, but let me knock on the door. Obviously. I'm glad you thought so too, Julian. How gallant of them to knock on my door. Do they even know who the master of this place is? I give them points for common decency, though. I steadied my breath and concentrated on my magic. A quick glamour spell concealed any trace of my vampiric appearance. With hurried footsteps, I made my way to the grand entrance of my abode. My Batsies look on with anticipation. With a second set of knocks greeted me as I drew closer. Fear, anticipation, if I can read. Fear, anticipation, dread. My heart was ravished by a whirlwind of emotions, and the growing rain and thunder reflected its tense state. I do not know what face shall greet me once I open the door. But my heart knew that there had only been one face that I'd been longing for this whole time. With a swift movement, I opened the door. And at that same moment, a flash of lightning lit up the entire area. 1,000 faces were flashing in my mind now, and I hoped that the one I wanted to see most would be the visage I would see at the other side of the door. After a few more seconds, I was able to clearly see the face of my visitor. And gasps escaped from both our mouths at the same time. The ominous thunder rumbled in the distance as my heart dropped. Ooh, your cape! I just realized, I thought your cape was like black, but it looks green. I can see it now. That makes a lot more sense. Anyway, sorry. In front of me was... Ooh! A young maiden. Oh, so pretty. I love all the pinks. Oh my gosh. You're both shook. What? Question mark? Confused look? I love this. I love this. That's perfect. Mr. Van looks so confused. This weak-looking girl was the one who absolutely wrecked my barriers? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Seriously. Don't underestimate Don't underestimate this young maiden. I don't want to. Never do that. That's a mistake. Oh, such a pretty outfit. I was still in shock that I almost failed to see that the woman in front of me was equally as shocked. She was as still as the statues that surrounded my castle, and she may have even fit in nicely with them with the unbending gaze she gave me. From a single glance, she didn't look like an assassin, more like a weary traveler. Her dress was all tattered and wet from the downpour, with some parts even caked with dirt. Though they have faded a bit, the patterns gave way that she was from the other side of the country. Whoever made her dress had good taste. The material of the cloth is impeccable. Should she be a friend, I must ask her who her tailor is. It's like, let's check first if this person's an enemy, but if not, let me get that tailor recommendation. Thank you. I love it. Her braid is Hawaiian, a style that I'm all too familiar with. Oh, I see the roses in here. So pretty. See those? There's like at least 3 roses. And then like little leaves. I love that. Judging from how disheveled she is, she must have been through a lot. The bag she's carrying seemed to be heavy and nearly falling apart, most likely from whatever long journey this woman has gone through. Another thing that tells me she is Hawaiian is the distinct scent of roses, as the only unique fragrance of the Hawaiian roses can stick to skin and clothes, and even linger even after days and weeks of traveling, which must be the case with the disheveled girl in front of me. Now, her face. Have you always been blushing? Or am I just noticing this now? Oh. She. Why is she looking at me? Why is she still looking at me? Now, I know that I'm very beautiful. Drop-dead gorgeous even, so stares like this are quite common, but surely this girl Possible assassin. Yes, we know. We know that you think you're gorgeous, because you are. Whatever. Anyways. Impossible assassin is also gorge. We love it.
Finally.
Huh?
You are truly so beautiful. More beautiful than I could have ever imagined.
Excuse me, young lady. The blush. I cannot believe the words that just left her mouth. How can she be so brazen? The lady in front of me was looking at me still. Oh, that outfit's so cute. And now we have the little sparkles. Floats. No matter how haggard she looked, with a bit of dirt and flyaway strands of hair framing her face, it couldn't hide her strikingly gentle eyes. Those eyes are so... They look very kind. I mean, they're also very, like, lovely, but they look very kind, too. They stared straight into mine, as if she was looking at my very soul. And she is smiling at me so tenderly, as if I was a precious toy that she had lost as a child. Honestly, this is the first time a maiden has ever looked at my eyes directly and smiled at me like this. And I cannot lie, it feels comforting for once. Aww. Oh, not the tears. It happens. But that feeling didn't last because I was broken from my thoughts when I saw that tears were starting to form in her eyes. Wait. Tears?
You are so beautiful. Sparkle, 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 sparkle. Oh my gosh.
Love this heart. I love the animations and the additions for like the expression. It's just expressions, they're so fun. Crying, possible assassin. I love that.
truly so beautiful. Not even the heavens can compare you to your, not even the heavens can compare to your radiance.
Oh. Well, you have good eyes, fair maiden. Lol.
I am so happy that I have lived long enough to see such a sight. Oh dear, your eyes sparkle like the most brilliant of stars. Your face is so radiant that comets fall to the earth just to see it. And your smile. Oh, your smile. How gentle it is. How lovely it is. How precious it is. Oh, how magnificent.
Lol. Oh yes, dearie. I am truly a sight worth waiting for. Totally feeling himself. Never a soul had praised me for my smile such as she. Its radiance had always been a given. But it does feel nice to have it be appreciated. I do wonder what makes her like it. Is it the shape of my mouth? The color of my lips? My teeth? Or... Wait! I have fangs! Is she aware I have fangs? Is she even aware I am a vampire? I mean, unless she can see through your glamour, I don't think so. Wait, no. I have glamour magic on. She isn't supposed to know I'm a vampire. Did she mention that? I don't think she has. I look back at the girl. She was still awestruck by my beautiful visage, and while I could not blame her for such a reaction to seeing my face, surely those eyes will lose their sparkle when she realizes that I am a vampire. Ah! Verdongit. I'm so sorry. I'm placing the emphasis weirdly. I had been carried away by her honeyed words. I had momentarily forgotten that I may be dealing with a possible assassin here. I had learned my lesson from that wretched witch that turned me into a vampire. The girl in front of me may also look like a harmless beauty, but experience has taught me oh so well that appearances can be dreadfully deceiving. Where was this thought, like, at the beginning? Oh my goodness, you're so funny. She may be hiding a knife or a bottle of poison under her rugged clothes for all I know. I have to know just what she is here for. Once again, I concentrated my magic into my palms, readying myself for anything should she try to use her stealthy attacks on me. Or magic on me. Young lady, I am dreadfully sorry to disturb you from your thoughts, but may I ask what business you have here? I assume that you must have traveled all the way here for something. All the more, finding this place must have been no small feat.
Oh,
Suspicious possible assassin.
well, I am a vampire enthusiast, sir. I'm actually traveling around to find one.
A vampire enthusiast, you say? You do realize they are a dangerous sort, yes? What reason could you possibly have to find a vampire? Has no one warned you of them? Who would ever want to see a creature so repulsive?
Oh, definitely deranged possible assassin says, "What do you mean repulsive?" I don't know if you've been living under a rock, sir, but from where I'm from, vampires are actually all the rage now.
What? Did I hear her correctly? The inner monologue is funny. Is this all a nightmare that I have to wake up from?
Do you not really know of the Dawn series? Or Confessions of a Vampire? Or 50 Shades of Blood, or even...
Wait, please slow down. What are all these names?
Oh, they are novels about vampires, sir. It's true that vampires are still a fearsome topic around the country, more so with the case of the former crown prince several years ago. But where I'm from, they really are all the rage, selling even more than bread and butter.
This is so funny. It's like going on a journey just to go and find a vampire. I love the dedication, truly. I can actual really like respect. Like actually, I'm not being sarcastic. Like I love it. I personally love my vampire stories also. Always trying to find some good new ones, you know? How? Just how? What started this passionate frenzy for those nasty, blood-sucking creatures? Don't tell me the people of Hyraya have started weird customs because of them.
Oh, well, apparently a few years ago, someone wrote a story about a human girl and a vampire as star-crossed lovers, and it moved the villagers so much that they, well, made a holiday out of it. Yes.
What? I cannot believe my ears. We should also be going inside. It's too much rain outside. One writer truly did all of that?
I guess it's quite far-fetched for outsiders given the stigma around vampires, says the fanatic possible assassin. But it's true. Vampires are really loved as misunderstood and tragic figures there, actually.
And where is this writer now? They must have probably lined their pockets with gold with such popularity.
Actually, we don't know the identity of the writer. The story was published anonymously. One thing's for sure, though. The legacy of that story definitely lived on even after a year's passed.
And I guess you are one of the people who have been so deeply moved by this story.
Guilty as charged.
Fine, that is understandable, but this does not satisfy my curiosity at all. So you're telling me that because of your love for these vampires, due to the stories you've read, you willingly trekked to the opposite end of the country just to have a chance at seeing those blood-curdling creatures? Why would you go to such lengths?
Oh, about that. Well, I'm not just looking for any vampire. I'm looking for a specific one that saved my life back when I was younger.
You'd willingly search for that vampire just for that one act?
Well, I owe him my life, so I'm very grateful to him, actually. And I wanted to repay him somehow, so that's why I ended up here.
And what makes you think that he is here, then? To vampires, isolation is their way of life. Looking for one would be like looking for a needle that fell to the floor without the lights on.
Well, my fortune teller said I'd find him here.
Who is your fortune teller? They are accurate. Julian, what did you do? Did you save this woman back in the day? Fortune tellers, the bane of a country's existence. Those people are nothing but scammers. Scammers, the lot of them. Had I remained crown prince and later ascended the throne, I would have had them exiled from the country. Those malevolent snakes who take advantage of the common folk. Judging by how this girl came all the way from Hyraya, I don't know why I'm tripping up on that. It's literally 3 syllables. Hyraya. She must have spent a fortune just to travel here. She would probably need to sell all her assets and everything she had and more to make up for that sum of money. I hope she really did not get scammed out of her life savings, hoping to see a vampire that she may or may not ever find in her lifetime. That would be too cruel. Young lady, please don't tell me that you followed that fortune teller's advice and came all the way here just for that vampire. Please don't tell me that you sold everything you have just to come here. The expression says it all. My fears were confirmed when I saw her sheepish smile ebb a little.
Also guilty as charged?
Pitiful possible assassin says. Verdonget, why? You had no certainty that you would ever find this vampire, so why would you risk your life savings and even your life just to make the tumultuous journey here?
Because I really, really had to find him. I do believe I will regret it for the rest of my life if I never see his face again. So yes, it was stupid of me to follow the fortune teller's advice, but hope is all I have now. I really want to see him, no matter what.
For some reason, my heart clenched a bit at her words. That vampire is really that important to you?
Yes, he is. So much so that my heart can't take it.
For a moment, I am caught off guard by the conviction in her voice, but I dismiss it in favor of something that I have to tell her. I fail to see how that one act could provoke such a reaction from you years later. But it is none of my business who you endear yourself to, nor how you conduct yourself. But I apologize. I don't think the vampire you were looking for is here. There aren't many vampires here.
I
expected to see her face contorted with disappointment. And yet I was surprised to see that a gentle smile instead bloomed on her face.
That's fine. I guess I have to look for him some other place then.
Shouldn't you ask? Like, who could this vampire be? Is it not you? Maybe you don't remember? Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe it's really not you. But some details need to be asked about who this potential vampire is. I'm really sorry about bothering you like this.
But it's fine. Truly. I'll live. And thank you for opening the door. I know it's quite late, but I'm grateful that you heard me out. I shall be going now. I'm sorry for any disturbance I may have caused.
Girl, if you don't get inside right now, Mr. Man, Julian, you better invite her inside. At least till the next day. Just as she said that, the sky roared and the rain intensified, as if protesting her departure. You're leaving right now, in this weather.
Yes, well, I wouldn't want to intrude, and I didn't find what I'm looking for anyway. Don't worry, I've survived in worse conditions. Worse, so I'll be fine. I'll find my way to the village nearby, so please don't worry about me.
I couldn't wrap my head around this. After breaking all my barriers and getting through all my security, she's going to leave just like that. I found that no words could escape my lips. But just as she turned around to walk— oh my goodness, I'm slowly not able to read. Oh my goodness. But just as she turned around to walk away, she suddenly stopped and turned back to me.
Before I go, can I just, look at you for a little while longer?
I thought she was going to ask to use the bathroom, to be honest. That would have been hilarious, but also fair. I think this question is also fair.
It's really rare for me to see such a beautiful sight. I might never see anyone like you in my lifetime ever again.
You know what? That's fair. What are the real odds of really running into someone that you're like, oh my gosh, how just gorgeous you are, and I've never seen anyone like you, actually. That's a fair question. I'm with her.
My name is Brielle, by the way.
Brielle, I whispered. It suits you. It's a lovely name. Her eyes widened and a loud gasp followed sweet.
You actually said my name.
Well, it was just natural to say it back.
Yes, but you saying it with your beautiful voice.
That is so Brielle. Brielle and I would be friends. I just know it. Anyways, absolutely. I get it, girl.
It's just,
I let out a soft chuckle. All the little hearts coming out. I love it. I cannot lie, I was amused to see her flustered. It was amusing overall to see another human in several years. And for some reason, the thought also pricked my heart a bit. Brielle was trying her best, very best, to stay composed, after what felt like an eternity of staring at my face, scrutinizing every minute detail. She sighed and finally backed up a bit.
Oh, well, I already know he isn't here, so I'd better be on my way then. Curtsy.
With those words, she bowed a bit and swiftly turned away, before stopping again.
I really wish you well, and thank you so much. Seeing your beautiful visage has been such a wonderful gift to my life. It has made my journey here more than worth it.
Blush, blush. And with those words, she quietly stepped away from the door and made her way back into the embrace of the forest. With every step her retreating figure took, my heart clenched. For some reason, every footstep felt like a dagger upon my chest, until I could no longer take it anymore. Wait! Please, come back!
Yes?
In truth, I am the owner of this castle. I would really not mind letting you stay here, at least for the night. I could not bear it in good conscience to have a young lady like you brave the dark and foul weather while I slumber in safety and comfort.
Okay, though, but could she still be an assassin? Just say, I just have to, I don't know. I mean, you are looking for someone. You're all looking for a she is looking for a vampire, so, but it'd be kind of funny if she was actually an assassin to kill him. Anyways, it's fine.
I really wouldn't want to intrude. I've braved far worse conditions than this. Honest.
Well, I insist, please. At my words, her gaze softened and a grateful smile bloomed on her face.
Thank you.
I just have a question for you before we get inside.
Oh, what is it?
How did you find this place? It must have been quite hard for you to navigate the area. This place isn't called the Forgotten Forest for nothing.
Oh, for that, there's magic I used to counter the barriers around here.
This statement definitely piqued my interest. So you admit to knowing of these barriers?
Yes. I told you I sold everything just to find my vampire. Of course I'm prepared for anything.
And how did you acquire magic that could break through my barriers? To be frank with you, you were the first person who has ever infiltrated this part of the forest before. One can't help but be curious.
Oh well, I had a pretty good teacher who taught me the secrets of breaking barriers such as yours. But sorry, I can't say any more than that. I would feel like I'm revealing his secrets without permission. But, I swear I'm no assassin or anything. I really just want to find my vampire.
He's like, I did not think that.
Very well then, I accept that reason. Now come, let's get you inside.
Finally, we're inside. I love it. We're out of the rain. I mean, we love the rain, but also, I was worried. I was like, you're both gonna catch a cold. Do vampires catch colds? I don't know.
As we stepped into the hall, Brielle gasped in awe as she took in her surroundings, muttering, "How beautiful," many times. And who could blame her? I have such impeccable taste.
The scent of roses. Oh, I love roses.
Oh yes, I love roses a lot as well, and the scent of them eases my mind. As we made our way a bit further into the hall, I signaled to my batsies and the door firmly shut behind us.
Batsies!
With a flick of my hands, a few of my batsies came to us, earning an amused giggle from Brielle. See, even my batsies are adorable. Truly impeccable taste on my end.
He's very proud of this. I love that for him.
Brielle, meet my batsies.
Oh, wow! Hello there! It's so nice to meet you. Aren't you all such sweethearts?
Aww. A and B are there.
Batsy A and Batsy B.
I think that's Batsy B, right?
Judging from the way they quickly encircled her, the Batsy seemed excited at the prospect of this new face. My Batsy here will lead you to the bathroom, while I check on the room for you. If you never need anything, just call on them. Here is Batsy A and Batsy B.
They really are named Batsy A and B?
Well, it's for simplicity purposes, and they seem to be content with the name, so I let it be. Not many people may agree with my naming choices, but if Adair and my Batsy see no problem with them, then there's nothing to change.
All right then. It is quite adorable in its own way.
Ugh. Huh. Well then, since you already are already a guest here in my abode, I believe it is appropriate and proper that you should at least know my name. You may call me Julian.
Just Julian? I would have thought someone of your stature would be title or something.
At this point, titles no longer mean anything to me. Since you will be staying here for the night at least, if you would feel too uncomfortable... It would feel too uncomfortable if you were to call me Lord Julian or anything of the sort.
All right. Huh. Julian. Julian? Julian. It's also such a lovely name.
Blushing to the max. I love it.
Thank you. Well, then, I shall see you later. And with that, I made my way to the sleeping chambers, to the room I'll give to Brielle.
Clicks in wanting to be followed. By Batsy B. All right, I'm coming, sweetie. Huh. Oh. Julian. Julian. It is truly the sweetest name of all.
Interesting. I love it. We love a fangirl. I love a... But I want to know. Are you going to find your vampire? Is he the vampire? Could he be the vampire? Potentially.
I'm a firm believer in being benevolent to everyone, but of course this must be balanced with discernment and wisdom. That is a life lesson. That is the lesson life has taught me, in the hardest way possible. I'm no longer a fool. Sure, Brielle passed my initial assessment of her, but she isn't cleared of all my suspicions yet. After all, even roses have their thorns, or so ones like her who had the power to break through my own barriers. And so I plan to test her tonight. Ooh, cute room. Looking through the room I had prepared for her, everything looked accommodating enough. The room was well lit, and judging from her wardrobe, she seemed to like pastels, so the ambiance was fitting for her. The white roses, fresh from my garden, added a nice touch of softness that tied the room together quite well. Everything was perfect. Perfect. My taste was immaculate, after all. Truly, she wouldn't suspect anything from how pretty the room is. I made my way to the bed. It was quite soft and velvety to the touch, almost as if one was touching a cloud. Any guest would gladly get lost in its silken sheets and fall into the tender embrace of sleep within seconds, losing all inhibition and instinct for self-preservation. It was the perfect trap for catching a possible assassin. Almost. One last thing was missing. I dug through my coat, and from my hidden pocket I took out a seed. At first glance, it looked like a normal, inconspicuous seed. It had a dark brown color and was small and round like a pea. What kind of seed is this? Oh, I need to take out this charger. Okay. But looks can be deceiving. Here in my hand is the finest quality revenge seed, the royal family's first line of defense against assassins masquerading as guests when diplomats visited the castle. Carefully, I placed it under the mattress. Instantly let out a small white glow, indicating that it was now ready to absorb the intentions inside the heart of whoever was sleeping on top of it. Should they have murderous intent, the seed will absorb them all and reflect it back to them in the form of giant thorns growing from the seed and choking them to death. Oh.
That's a powerful magic seed you got. But I prefer my guests alive and breathing rather than skewered in a bloody mess. And so, with another flick of my hand, I cast another spell on the seed, modifying its primary function. Now, if Brielle came to my domain with even a hint of dark intentions, Thorns will trap her in a cage of her own poisonous malice. A fitting retribution. My magic will do the rest and expel her from my castle, memory wiped and all. But before Brielle, let's hope it doesn't come to that. With everything in place, I made my way to fetch the girl in question. Once I reached the entrance of the common guest bathroom, it was perfect timing. Cute! Your hair is down. Look, this dress is pretty. The door opened and revealed Brielle. A very much refreshed and cleaner Brielle. Well, I was not expecting this sight at all.
Ah, you're already here. Thank you for letting me use the bath. Gosh, it was such a marvelous experience. And I'm grateful that you're letting me borrow these clothes for a while. I'll make sure to clean them and return them later.
Oh, no need. You can keep them.
Oh? I'll treasure them dearly.
It is a different feeling seeing Brielle like this. Without the dirt and extra layers from before, and with her hair neatly combed and dried, it's easier to see what exactly she looks like now. For some reason, she reminds me of...
Your roses are so beautiful, by the way. I've never seen such splendid flowers in all my life. Your gardener must be very skilled.
Who does she remind you of? I need to know. Oh, that's surprising. I'm of the opinion that Harayan roses are actually the most beautiful and fragrant in the world. None of the roses I've seen can ever compare. And I find it highly unlikely that Brielle has never seen them, given that the roses are native to Hyraya and overflow there. She even smells like them. And it's a scent that you never forget even after so many years. I wonder what she sees in them. Well, I do not actually have a gardener. Everything here is taken care of by magic and by my Batsies, though of course it can be quite draining, so I have to rest often.
Oh, that's so cool! That explains why those roses are just so lovely. It's because they absorb all the love you have for them.
Shook. He's shook. Well, that is an interesting take on it.
These flowers are very lucky to have you as their owner.
Ah, thank you. I cleared my throat. Now, come, Brielle, this way to your room. Brielle followed suit. It was strange hearing another set of footsteps along the way. For several years, it has always been the echoes of my own footsteps that reverberated within these corridors. The same click and clack, over and over again. To have another set of footsteps make noise alongside mine, it is truly a strange feeling indeed. When we reached her room, I opened the door. The sparkle in Brielle's eyes at the sight of the room was quite amusing. It only means that I was correct in my assessment.
Oh my gosh, this room is so beautiful. And it's so pink. I love pink.
With that, I let her take in her new surroundings. She fluttered around the room like a butterfly, looking at everything with enthusiasm. The curtains, the carpet, the chandelier hanging from the ceiling. She was enchanted by it all.
Goodness, this is the most soft and beautiful bed I ever felt in my entire life. I feel like I could sleep here forever. Thank you so much for letting me stay here. And more roses. These are even white. Oh, I am so happy.
Fittingly enough, Brielle reminds me of a white rose herself, when juxtaposed within this room. A beautiful white rose in a rose garden. Are white roses your favorite flower, Brielle?
Technically, yes, it is my favorite, but it's only because my real favorite flower doesn't exist yet.
Oh, a stunning coincidence then. And what is your favorite flower?
Oh, still roses. Just, I long for blue ones.
Oh my gosh, I've always wanted blue roses. Like, they're also. I've always wanted. I always wished they were blue roses. That'd be very cool.
Like the ones I read in my parents' old stories.
How interesting. Sadly, those don't exist yet. But you never know.
Yes, I do wish to be able to see some someday.
If there is hope for it, then I wish so for you too. Now then, I will leave you to rest. I shall see you in the morning. Bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit to you too.
Oh, you know the language.
Ah, yes, I used to say it all the time back in my hometown. Well, good night.
Interesting. Well then, I won't keep you any longer. I shall have more questions for you tomorrow.
Ah, wait! Julian, one more thing.
What is it?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you. I'm really grateful for you letting me stay here, even accommodating me like this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I promptly left her room and made my way to my own.
Okay, she knows many languages also? Water.
Brielle seems very sweet, I cannot lie. As sweet as the roses placed in her room, even. But my mantra from years before appears once again in my mind. Roses, no matter how alluring, no matter how sweet, can also have their thorns. I'd be very impressed, though, she was truly an assassin, because, if so, her act is impeccable. Tomorrow we'll see what kind of plant will grow from your heart, Brielle. Will it doom you, or save you in the end? But it is a strange feeling, having something to look forward to for tomorrow. Ever since Adair stopped sending me letters, I did not have much to look forward to every day. And so for the past year, whenever I slumber and awaken anew, the moon would have completed its phases, and the castle would look a bit more different each time. For now, finally, a new day to look forward to. And with that, I too turned in for the night, awaiting whatever will bloom for the seed of Brielle's heart. Will bloom from the seed of Brielle's heart. The next morning, I was awakened by a terrible scream. In all my years of existence, it was the most blood-curdling scream I have ever heard in my life. I have never run so fast in my life. What would I see? What did I hope to see? Gruesome images of a girl violently trapped by a cage of thorns entered my mind, and the thought of it pricked my heart. Admittedly, a part of me was hoping that Brielle wasn't an assassin, that she really was just a sweet and innocent girl in search of her savior. But with a scream like that, there was only one viable fate that Brielle must have encountered. Fear bubbled up within me, and so I made haste towards her room.
I'm quite curious. Let's see.
As I opened the door, I was met with red. A sea of red quickly enveloped me, and I was toppled to the ground by the sheer amount. And then it hit me. The sweet scent of roses.
Oh, there are a lot of roses.
Opening my eyes, I saw that Brielle's room was filled with roses. A plethora of roses. With the door opened, it was like a dam was broken. Oh, lots of roses. The rose petals swiftly poured outside and filled the rest of the corridor. And even after all that, the sheer amount of roses in her room still reached up to my knees.
My goodness, that's a lot.
And as for Brielle, well, it was a sight I don't think I ever expected to see in all my years of existence. Thorns? Yes, I definitely expected to see that. Red? Absolutely. A heart-shaped cage made out of roses stemming from a giant rose blooming on top of the bed and reaching the ceiling? Okay, so a heart-shaped cage, rose, heart, giant rose, top of the bed. Okay, so what does that mean, Julian? I don't know what that means. Verdonget. Never in a million years would I have dreamed of seeing this. I'd have expected to see the sun explode before seeing a literal heart-shaped rose plant of eldritch proportions literally growing inside my castle. Yet, it was right there in front of me, as tangible and true as the setting and rising of the sun. And that wasn't all. The rose plant abomination still kept growing at a steady pace, with more roses blooming and popping off from the mother rose rooted on the bed. I estimate that with the rate it was multiplying, it would only take a matter of minutes before the whole room would be once again flooded by a sea of roses. No, an ocean of them. Looking up, I could see Brielle inside the heart cage. She was delicately cradled by the rose, like a chick lovingly covered by a mother hen. Unlike the rest of the rose plant, there was no thorns in her heart cage. Rather, each little rose stemming from the mother rose was meticulously placed, letting only the softest petals touch her skin. And these roses, as red as the finest of rubies, were also a work of marvelous, intricate beauty. Each rose head, when seen from afar, formed a swirling pattern commonly seen in nature, from seashells to sunflowers to even the loving arms of galaxies. If it was not trying to devour the room within a steady pace, I would have swooned right there and then from the sheer splendor of it all. As for Brielle herself, well, rather than the serene face of a noblewoman, hers was contorted in fear, her whole body shaking like a leaf. She was hugging herself for dear life. My heart clenched at the sight of her.
Julian, thank goodness you're here. I just woke up and I don't know how I got here. I swear I really didn't do anything. Please help me. I'm really scared of heights. I really want to get out of here. Please.
Close your eyes, Brielle. She immediately obeyed and covered her face with her hands. With a flick of my hands, a warm pink glow enveloped the room, leaving no trace of the sea of roses. I ran to Brielle and immediately caught her. But, well, there was a reason athletics was one of my poorest subjects way back during my training as a crown prince. Haha. I failed to sustain her weight, and thus with a loud thud we both ended up falling on the floor. Didn't use your legs, you can't just put out your arms. That's funny though. The next thing I felt was Brielle on top of me, her hands placed on both sides beside my face and her weight fully crushing me, trapping me from any movement. I know that I'd usually panic at the situation at hand. All my instincts as former crown prince were screaming bloody murder for the vulnerable position I put myself into. But the overwhelming scent of roses assaulted my senses, flooding my mind with a great sense of calm and freezing my flickers of worry. Looking at Brielle, her face was delicately framed by her pink wavy hair. It held an inscrutable expression, a cacophonic mix of both worry and relief. Upon closer inspection, there were tear streaks on her cheeks. Wait, tears? Verdonget, she must have really been scared of heights. Within a few seconds, I started to feel the pain from the fall and her weight on my stomach, but it was of no concern to me. Better I be a personal pillow than her body a bloody mess on the floor. The body in question, though, seems to think differently, her face now contorted in utter horror.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Wait, gosh, let me get off of you right now.
She promptly stood up and held her hand out to me. I staggered a bit but was ultimately able to stand up.
Are you alright, Julian? Are you hurt anywhere? Oh goodness, I even landed on your stomach now. Gosh, I hope it wasn't too painful.
All is well with me, Brielle. There is no need to worry.
Wait, let me just check some things.
Before I could react, though, Brielle had circled me, looking at me up and down, scrutinizing every inch of me as if I was a precious painting being scanned for any damage in need of repair. At some point, she tried to reach for my arms, though she decided against it at the last minute. Once satisfied, she let out a sigh of relief and looked up at me with a relieved smile.
Everything looks fine. Gosh, I was so worried. It would be a tragedy if anything happened to you. More so to your beautiful face. I don't think I could take it. I would cry at the thought.
Young lady? Do you hear yourself? You were just inside a giant rose cage fearing for your life earlier. Did you suddenly forget all of that? Brielle, you should be worrying more about yourself. Are you fine right now?
Oh, right, yes. I was trapped in the giant rose. I forgot.
What do you mean you forgot?
But I'm fine now, so I'm okay. And I'm also happy you're fine. And, you were so cool with your magic. I was so amazed seeing it in action. Goodness, it's the first time I've ever seen such magic up close. You were incredible. And you caught me so fast when I fell. Gosh, you were really so cool. I'm very grateful.
Even when I fell? Sending us both down to the floor?
Even when you fell. Gosh, how heroic of you to save me from my fate of falling to the floor.
I love that. I love the thought process.
My hero.
Well, you are welcome. I am honestly conflicted. Never in my life have I been praised for such things. After all, they are no-brainers, right? Yes? I could not let her get hurt for what is basically my fault. But
There's French in here, okay. More French.
je n'ai pas de mots.
Oh, but if you don't mind me asking, what was that earlier?
Verdonget. Verdonget, 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 verdonget. How do I explain this? I didn't think this far. The revenge seed is only used as a first line of defense against potential assassins should they be guests staying at the castle. The seeds need only to absorb the tiniest bit of murderous intent, just a pinch of malice to fill its tiny body for thorns to instantly grow from it. In hindsight, it's quite ironic that hate is what is designed to make this seed grow. Now, if there is none, no choking to death will be involved, and the guests will simply just slumber in peace, forever unaware of the seed holding the key to their life and death just below them. And yet, Brielle's case is truly an anomaly indeed. I do not know what to make of it. I somehow expected thorns, yes, not that I want her to be pierced by them. But this, whatever this rose abomination is, I don't understand. It is truly the first time I've ever encountered such a sight. This is the first time we've met, so there are reasonably no other options aside from murderous intent, or pure gratitude. And for centuries, there has never been a case like this at all. So why does that rose-like abomination exist? Yes, roses bloom from the seed of her heart, but those roses still had thorns. And though they never choked her, perhaps Brielle possesses great magic that could negate the seed's hostility. Is she a friend or a foe? I truly cannot decide yet. I should observe her closer and test her intentions one more time. As for how I should answer her... forgive me. I haven't had guests for a long time, and I rarely clean this room. I must have accidentally left this magical trinket here. I assure you, though, that this will never happen again. You have my word on that.
Oh, I see. I was honestly frightened, but I understand. It's really fine. You saved me already, after all.
Right. I'm a bit relieved that she bought my lie, though a bit skeptical, with how fast she agreed to it. The silence is heavy between us, and for the first time, I find it hard to grasp words to say to her. The event that just transpired must be a lot to take in for her as well. I should say something. So aside from this morning's earlier fiasco, I take it that you were able to sleep well.
Oh, yes. It was actually the best sleep I've ever experienced in my life. I thank you so much for your hospitality. You're very kind.
It really is no trouble. I could not let a lady such as you brave the night alone in a storm.
Still, I'm very grateful that you took me in. I mean, I'm a stranger after all. More so a stranger who suddenly knocked at your castle in the late hours of the night. I really wouldn't blame you for finding me suspicious.
She hit a nail on the head there, and I'm not gonna lie, she was suspicious for more reasons than that.
I honestly wouldn't blame you at all if the seed was also meant to test me or something, though I'm quite happy you trust me.
Let's just hope she never finds about this later.
Or you might have to tell her if she's, not this assassin.
I scrambled trying to think of a way to change topics.
Another Batsy? You have a cute little flower in your hair.
I scrambled to think of a way to change topics when coincidentally the solution came in the form of Batsy D, with news from the nearby village.
Oh, how adorable! What's your name, dearie?
It seemed that all my Batsies fell for her charm. To the point that even the ever-reserved Batsy D encircled her in delight, with Brielle giggling away at the gesture. She's good. She's basically the only person to have convinced my Batsies to give her a bat hug on sight. Not that there were any other people that my Batsies have met, though. This is Batsy D. I sent her to survey the village nearby. Well then, Batsy D, what's the situation there? Clicks in reporting news. Clicks in disappointment. Oh, that is bad news. Brielle's once bright face darkened in contemplation.
Oh dear.
Since the non-stop rain these past few months has led to the river in the nearby part of the forest to overflow, it would be quite dangerous for you to go down there. You should stay here for a while.
I wouldn't want to intrude. Last night was already enough for me. But thank you. Thank you, really. And in hindsight, had you not asked me to stay here for the night, then I might have gone to that part of the mountains and gotten swept away from the overflow. So I owe you my life.
Oh, like I said, it's really no big deal.
Still, let me make it up to you somehow. Oh, I know. Let me clean the castle instead. Or tend to your gardens. It must consume a lot of magic in you to keep this place clean, yes? Let me do some things around here for a while.
Like a key opening a lock, everything clicked into place in my mind. Oh, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I wanted to tell her that her cleaning the castle wasn't necessary at all, and that for someone like me, castle maintenance is as quick as easy as breathing. But here she was, bringing the perfect excuse and solution for her own test on a silver platter. Oh, this is brilliant. I love the pun there. Alright then, you can do that. Batsy E will tell you everything you need to know and do.
Ah, I'll be so happy then. I promise to make this place shine.
Be my guest.
Aren't I already your guest?
Well, considering that you are stuck in this castle and are being made to clean it and tend to my gardens, I'd say captive fits you better now.
Well, I'm a willing prisoner.
It was honestly quite refreshing hearing another person laugh like this in such a long time. More so when she laughs in my presence so freely. Kind of like Adair.
Okay. I still need to know about Adair. Thank you. Well, how old is Brielle? Well, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see something. I don't know anything anymore. I'm trying to put theories together, but I know nothing really.
But am I truly a prisoner though when I get to see your radiant visage all the time? It feels like I'm seeing the wonders of the cosmos whenever I look at your ethereal face. If anything, I feel like I've been fed ambrosia as setting my eyes on you.
This girl, truly, How could she say these things so easily? Are all commoners like this? Or is she just a special case? Very much in the fangirl category, and I love to see it. I've heard flattery like this all the time in my court, and yet coming from her, why does it seem so... A word escapes me. You might change your mind when you know who I am, though. Don't say such things so carelessly, Brielle. Even roses have their thorns.
Ah, but even with their thorns, aren't roses fervently loved still? I think you are still beautiful no matter what you are. I truly say this from the bottom of my heart. You are really so beautiful to me, even if you are a vampire. Actually, more so that you are a
Vampire? How do you know that, girl? She just called me a vampire. Did you actually know this whole time?
No, I didn't. What I meant was,
With every passing second, I could see Brielle's face drain of color as she struggled to come up with an excuse to hide her obvious lie. Her ever-frantic hand gestures gave away that she was really struggling.
Well, you see, maybe... Okay, fine. I'm really bad at lying, and I can't really hide the truth now since you basically already know. There's no use denying it. I'm sorry, I really did know from the beginning. The very beginning. I told you I came prepared to find my vampire, right? So, of course I knew. But believe me, I really wanted to tell you on your own time. I would never reveal a secret as precious as that without your consent. And even then, even after I leave this place, I swear I have no plans of telling anybody. I promise to take the secret with me to my grave.
This revelation was too much to take in. It has barely sunk in yet that for the first time in 20 years, someone has actually found out one of my most guarded secrets.
I can't lie though, I really did think that you were my vampire when everything fits so much. But in your own words, you're not the vampire I'm looking for, yes? This is the very first time we've seen each other after all.
Is it? And it's also bolded. I knew Brielle was a vampire lover. That was the very reason she had departed. To find the particular vampire who saved her life years ago. But it is only sinking in now that she is a vampire lover. Brielle loves vampires. Those horrid creatures who suck the life of their prey. Brielle loves vampires. She would willingly keep this explosive secret of mine just to keep my identity safe. I love Batsy D is just here, just like, yeah, here I am. Brielle loves. So, when she was saying all those words, she was saying them knowing I was a vampire? Huh. Je n'ai pas de mots.
But anyways, I'll leave this place after a week, but for now I'll do my best to make this place shine. So with that, would you like to have breakfast with me?
I was gonna say we need to eat before cleaning. You need energy.
What would you like?
Oh, well, I can eat breakfast, but I don't really need it to survive. I can just live off of animal blood, actually. And I will be sleeping now. Right now, although it is more similar to hibernating if you think about it. I'll leave you with the Batsies. They will show you everything you need to do.
Ah, got it.
I shall see you next week, Brielle.
Oh, well, good night, Julian.
Good night. Breakfast with her would have been lovely, but I needed time to prepare myself, to process everything that has just happened. And so, with that, I made my way to my room. Once again, the click-clack of my shoes was the only sound that echoed throughout the corridor, along with the endless pitter-patter of the rain. How long has it been raining? Will it ever stop raining? Just as I was pondering about the rain, I noticed that something about the corridor seemed different this time. It looks brighter? This time, everything seemed a bit brighter. Outside my window, it was still raining, but this time the sun was still peeking out. The sun was peeking out. a rare sight among the endless rainy days we've had for the past few months. At the sight of it, a smile made its way to my face, along with a single thought. I hope I can see a rainbow soon. That would be nice. Hello, you have reached the end of the demo. Thank you so much for playing, and I hope you had fun with it. It was very fun! I also want to know what's happening with Brielle after that week, but, you know, that was a good way to end the demo. Goodness me. Well, yeah, I'm really excited. I really like this. I'm really curious about who the vampire is that Brielle's looking for. Have Julian and Brielle met before? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like they might have, but both of them kind of don't know it. Fun credits. Woo! We love it. Butter. Hi, Butter. Woohoo! Special thanks. Aw. Oh, what a sweet dedication. I am so excited to see this game once it's fully released, whenever that may be. It's a really nice story and premise. Like rain reuniting with the roses when the clouds are ready to let them go. Oh, the imagery. Love that. Okay, well, this was a really fun demo. I'm so glad that I've been able to play it. I am really entertained by both Julian and Brielle, like both of their personalities, and also the Batsies. The Batsies are so cute, and so I'm really quite curious about what will happen. Who's Adair exactly? I want to know more details about that. I want to know who Brielle's exactly looking for, and I want to know if Brielle and Julian have actually met before, but both of them for whatever reason can't remember that. Who knows? Brielle is I love Brielle's just so fun. I love that. And I really like the art, and it's so lovely, and I like the writing so far. And I really can see these aspects of like, what is it? Like Snow White, like with the mirror. There's some other ones on here. Kind of Sleeping Beauty in the sense and how the vampire, like, you know, vampires like sleeping and stuff. So I really like that there's a lot of these like various fairy tale aspects incorporated into this. I definitely will be checking out the full game whenever it's fully released, so I'm very excited for that. Butter, I will say if you're watching this, this is fantastic. I love it so much, and I'm really glad I could check it out and see this game. It's very beautiful. I love like the animations and the lights and the transitions between scenes, and like how the text is like appearing on appearing, and like how it's broken up, you know, by parts of the sentence or different sentences. It has a nice pacing, I think, among like all these things. It's a really well done game, and so again, can't wait to check it out in full when that day comes. So yes, if you also like the video, please feel free to press the like button below, and also feel free to subscribe to my channel where I play, again, more Let's Plays and playthroughs of visual novels here. If you have any recommendations, as always, you can always let me know. I will be playing more of the games from the Once Upon a Time visual novel Jam. I'm just getting through them a bit more slowly. And yeah. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. It is not raining currently out here, though it feels like it could be based on this little title page here. But yes, I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed The Day It Rained Roses. Bye!